Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be going over red flags that you should never ever ignore. So lately I've seen a lot of content about icks, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically these very surface level, minuscule things that people do to pick each other apart, to kind of mask their own flaws and to feel better about themselves, which is bringing us to a level of just very surface level things that really don't matter. And I think we're starting to focus so much on those that we're ignoring the things that do matter, like deal breakers and red flags. Of course, your red flags might vary from person to person, but generally speaking, I think the red flags on this list are things that everyone should try to avoid and run for the hills if you see these. So before we get into today's video, you guys know I talk a lot on my channel about confidence, feeling like the best version of yourself, and part of that is intimacy. And when it comes to intimacy, we all want to feel like our most confident selves, but for a lot of guys, erectile dysfunction gets in the way. So although this issue affects everyone differently, this is something that 52% of men will experience. More men experience ED than not. So if this sounds like something that you're dealing with, I recommend finding help with today's sponsor, Roman. Roman can connect you directly with a licensed U.S. healthcare professional for a free telehealth consultation from the privacy of your own home. If appropriate, the provider will provide the treatment that is right for you and prescribe effective medication. The initial online visit and all follow-ups are free, doses start as low as $2, and it's incredibly convenient and affordable. Shipping is also free and always discreet for all of you guys that might be concerned about that. Roman also deals with premature ejaculation, hair loss, and more concerns for men, so if you think this is something that will help you, you can head to getroman.com/Courtney to complete your free consultation and find out if this is the right treatment for you. By using my link, you will get $15 off your first month of ED treatment, which benefits us both. Again, that's getroman.com/Courtney. If you order by February 9th, you'll get guaranteed Valentine's Day delivery. Keep these in mind when you're dating or meeting new people to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for a disaster. Let's get started. So number one, we've got playing games, and I would say that this is one of the biggest red flags I've seen, especially lately on social media, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. There's a ton of content out there about people playing games and manipulating each other. And just a forewarning, if you see someone post this type of content, that is them just waving the red flag in front of your face and making it very easy for you. Playing games is immature and insecure, and I would absolutely never put up with this behavior. So some of these include acting hot and cold, playing hard to get. You guys have all seen the TikToks about how to manipulate people, playing games, dropping them in the desert, dropping them in the ocean. I mean, it's just a complete mess, and we really want to try to avoid that. And if they're playing games from the start, often this is just a window into what the rest of your relationship with this person is going to look like. And I can guarantee a year down the road, you're going to be really sick and tired of the games, and you're going to wish you would have just ran for the hills in the very beginning. Number two, we've got the negative/victim mindset. If she's negative all the time or focuses more on problems rather than solutions, or criticizing people or judging people all the time, it's a no. And again, we're human, we all complain, we all criticize from time to time, none of us are perfect, but if this is something that you're noticing all the time, if she's constantly picking you apart or criticizing you or using you as her punching bag, I think this is when it becomes a huge red flag that you should not ignore. And when we're talking about the victim mindset here, that's ugly on everyone, not just girls. Men are very guilty of this as well. And honestly, most of the things on this list today go both ways, so I don't want to just say this is about girls, but I'm speaking to my audience here, which is mostly men, so that's why I'm using she or the girl in your life. So again, that victim mindset is ugly on everyone, and a girl or a person who is constantly blaming other people or pointing fingers and never taking accountability for her own actions is not a good look, and again, a huge red flag. Number three is their words and actions don't match. And I just want to ask all of you, how many times has this happened to you? Because I can think of about 1,000,000 times this has happened to me. Let me know down in the comments if this has happened to you. Share your stories. Would love to get a conversation going about this, because I think it's very important that we start to see things for what they are, the things that are right in front of us, instead of the things that we want them to be or the potential or any of that. So if you really zone in on what's in front of you instead of focusing on, what could be or what should be, you're going to avoid a lot of problems. So maybe she said she wants to hang out but never actually follows through with the plans. This is super frustrating, and I'm sure that a lot of you have been here before. And again, that's when her words and her actions don't match. You really want to start to watch what people do, not what they say they'll do, because at the end of the day, you are what you do, not what you say that you're going to do. So you should view other people that way as well. This is also a sign that they clearly don't take you seriously, and how can you ever expect to develop a serious, healthy, mature relationship with someone whose words and actions don't match from the very beginning? And there's a lot of people that are simply just all talk. They want to talk to you for the attention. They don't actually ever see anything developing with you seriously and just want you for that validation or attention, or to text you because they're bored. So really be able to see that again for what it is. I've done an entire video about how to tell when you're the attention guy. So definitely be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And the biggest thing here is that you just simply don't want to waste your time, and you should be spending your time on people who follow through with their actions, who have integrity, and whose actions and words match up. Number 4, it's complicated from the start. So if you just started seeing someone and you're already fighting all the time, or things are just not easy, not going well, and you literally just started seeing this person, that's a red flag. And I think that should be an obvious one, but I think a lot of times when we're seeing someone new and we're really excited about it, we put those blinders up and we avoid these red flags, but these red flags often end up being the reasons why we break up in the end, so it's better in the beginning to just see it for what it is. The very beginning of a relationship is when things are typically the easiest. Things are, the honeymoon phase is going on, things are going really well, and that is not always a good thing either, because sometimes people will like love bomb you. And I've actually done an entire video on all the games people play, and love bombing is included in there. So if you want a little bit more detail about that, definitely be sure to check it out. The person that you're with should bring peace into your life and not chaos. And 5 months from now, 6 months from now, you're gonna wish you would have listened to me. So if she's causing drama and chaos from the very beginning, again, like most of the things on this list, this is a window into what the rest of your relationship with this person will look like, so beware. Number 5 is excessive insecurity and jealousy. And look, again, we're all human. It's okay to be a little bit jealous or a little bit insecure sometimes. We're not perfect. However, there becomes a point when this becomes excessive, and it should be a huge red flag for all of you. And some people make the argument that a little bit of jealousy can be healthy, and I can kind of see the point with that, but the issue is there's a very thin line between a little bit of healthy jealousy and an excessive amount of jealousy, and often people cross it. You want to be with someone who is confident in themselves and knows the value that they bring into a relationship. If she's always jealous, always insecure, and always causing issues surrounding those topics, it's going to be hard for you to build that trust or build that, effective communication with her. So definitely keep this in mind. Again, I think a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of insecurity is okay, but when it runs your life and causes a ton of problems, I think that's when it should become a concern. And you want to be with someone who knows the value that they bring to the table. But if I were you, I would refrain from asking her the question, what do you bring to the table? I think a lot of people get really upset when you ask this question. Sometimes you see it in podcasts or YouTube channels where they're bringing girls on to talk about that. So it's a little bit of a different setting. But if you have to ask the person that you're romantic with what they bring to the table, chances are you aren't seeing what they bring to the table. And that tells you all that you need to know, and you don't even need to ask her. And a major part of this insecurity and jealousy is always needing that constant reassurance and validation from you, because she can't create that for herself. And this becomes exhausting after a certain point. In the beginning, I know it's maybe not that big of a deal, but you're gonna get sick of it. And I think it's also important that when you're in a relationship, you also have a really healthy relationship with yourself. And someone who is insecure and jealous all the time clearly does not, and again, should be seen as a red flag. Number 6 is one that's very obvious, but that one is she treats others poorly. How someone treats other people is one of the biggest representations of their character. So if they're mean to other people, if they're judgmental, if they're always putting people down, this is not a good sign. She could be a total baddie on the outside, but if she's ugly on the inside, it's going to be a no from me, and it should be for all of you too. Is she mean to your waitress? Is she always judging or putting down other women? If this is the case, red flag. If the only way that someone feels good about themselves is by being mean or putting others down, this is a sign of a deep-rooted issue, and it's probably a sign that she's going to be mean to you too. Number 7, we've got the entitled behavior / princess mentality that has seemed to take over our society these days. We have all seen the people that make you feel like talking to them should be a gift and that you should be kissing the ground that they walk on. And I'm telling you all right now, it might seem innocent and cute in the beginning, but it's a real problem. While self-confidence and self-love is a green flag and 100% a great thing, entitled princess behavior is not. And one of the reasons is that people like this expect you to do anything and everything for them without getting anything in return, because they think that just, being themselves is enough. And relationships with people like this are often very one-sided and give off major narcissist vibes, which if I were you, I would want to avoid. And sometimes it's very easy to fall into traps like this, especially if you're very attracted to a person. Maybe that's kind of bamboozling you and blinding you a little bit. But there was a video this girl posted about, like, if your man doesn't take you out, take you shopping, or take you whatever, then he's taking advantage of you or something like that. And you really want to watch out for girls like this, and often they make it very obvious. You might just be a little bit blinded. So again, see things for what they are and don't be blinded by love. And my last one on my list today is no drive, passion, or goals. So even if a girl doesn't necessarily want to work or be a girl boss CEO, she should still have some sort of passion and drive in her life. Regardless of what someone wants in life, we're all different. Not all of us want the same things. I think we should all be striving towards something. If she has zero work ethic, zero drive, puts zero effort into everything in her life, that's probably what her relationship with you is going to look like too. And I don't want this to get confused here with like saying that girls need to have a bunch of hobbies or be into very specific things. Of course, I think it's important for you guys to have some sort of common interest that you can enjoy together, but there are some people that really just don't have a ton of hobbies or don't get very into things. So I wouldn't say that that's a red flag, but it's more the goal-driven mindset or working for something or just really putting in effort to things that she does in her life. Does she take care of herself? Does she have goals that she's actively working towards? Does she strive to be the best she can be? If not, I would say maybe keep an eye out on this. You don't want to be with someone who's going to expect you to do absolutely everything and be putting zero effort in or be a bump on a log. So again, keep this in mind. This one's a little bit tricky because I know we're all wired different. We all value different things. So again, it's really important to find someone who shares values with you, common interest, and kind of goals and ideas about life. Alright guys, that is all I have for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Again, these are just some red flags I would keep in mind when you're dating, when you're meeting new people. Again, often the red flags that you see in the beginning that you maybe ignore end up being the reason why things don't work out in the end. So if you just see it for what it is in the beginning, you'll save yourself a lot of time and heartache. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. I do Q&As. You can participate in things on my story. So if you haven't already, be sure to give me a follow there. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.